On today's Daily Slab, we are looking at the best day of the year today, and I will be covering 5 guys I'm interested in this MLB season. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's Daily Slab. Welcome everyone to the Daily Slab. I am Nate, and what's happening today is that it is opening day. If you love baseball as much as I do, and I'm sure some of you do, I'm sure some of you don't, I do love baseball quite a bit, and I'm sure there's quite a few people that watch that are on here that don't like baseball at all. But it is my favorite day of the year today, opening day. It's the day when every single team in the MLB feels like maybe, just maybe, they can win the World Series. You fast forward a week, maybe not so much, but today, hope springs eternal, and there is no better day. You throw the brats on the grill, you grab a couple of cold ones, maybe a bag of chips or two, you sit down, you watch some baseball games. It is the best day. Hopefully the birds are chirping outside, hopefully it's warm and sunny out, and we can all have a good time. If you're stuck in the Midwest, you might have snow. That's unfortunate, but you can pretend that the weather is nice, and you can still grill and drink some cold ones. So, opening day, I don't need to get too much into how much I love opening day. Just know, suffice it to say, is that it is one of my favorite days of the year, and it really doesn't get much better than that for me. Now, with opening day comes a lot of players that have high expectations upon them for the season. And so I thought it would be fun to veer away from our normal 3 different segments series today and just do one segment, and that is the top 5 players I'm excited to watch this season. There's a lot of players in the MLB. We narrowed it down to 5. So let's start off with Adley Rutschman. So there's a lot to be interested in with Adley Rutschman, former first overall pick, leading the Orioles last year to an almost playoff berth, leading them to a good record for the first time in forever. Adley Rutschman was the centerpiece to that team, and he was also one of the better players in all of baseball last year. So amongst catchers with 100 or more plate appearances, right? He was second in Fangraphs wins above replacement at 5.3, despite playing 26 less games than the leader in the clubhouse, JT Realmuto. He was 4th in WRC+. The 3 guys ahead of him had played way fewer games, so the idea is if they played more games, their WRC+s might have dropped, and he could have been closer to the top of that list. He was 1st in walk rate, and he was in the top 15% in K rate. Those are all types of things that I look forward to, and I look at to say, is this player good? Not, simple things that you can look at where you don't have to dive super deep to be able to tell if a player's been good. And Adley Rutschman was great last year. Now, not amongst catchers, but amongst rookies, Adley Rutschman was also good. He was tied with Julio Rodriguez for the lead in FWAR, Fangraphs wins above replacement, at, again, 5.3, despite playing 19 less games than Julio. If he gets another 19 games under his belt, which is basically an eighth of the season, he is likely the better player than Julio, despite the fact that people are enamored with Julio last year and this year, not so much Adley Rutschman. He was 5th amongst rookies in WRC+. He was 2nd in walk rate, and he was 11th in K rate amongst all rookies that played last year that had a minimum of 100 plate appearances. So incredible season from him, not amongst just catchers, but also amongst all rookies, and that's every position, not just catcher. Adley Rutschman was truly one of the best. If you look at his rookie cards amongst the top 5, or his price on his base auto among the top 5 rookies, this is what you get. Julio base auto PSA 10, $1,825. He's number 1. Michael Harris was 3rd in Fangraphs wins above replacement. His PSA 10 base auto, $540. Steven Kwan, he doesn't have an auto. He was 4th. And then Jeremy Pena was 5th, and his base auto PSA 10 was $525. Now, Adley Rutschman, he hasn't had a PSA 10 sell for a while, but his SGC 10, which is at least close, last sold for $500. Now, a PSA 10 would give you a little boost, but remember, Adley Rutschman was a former number 1 overall pick, so he has that boost baked in, whereas Michael Harris and Jeremy Pena, things weren't expected of them, so their boosts really were play related. Whereas Adley, he hasn't gotten as much of a boost play related as these other guys, and then he's way far away from Julio's prices, despite being just as good and potentially a better player than Julio. The next one up is actually Julio Rodriguez. He's my number 2 player I'm interested in watching. Obviously, this is pretty self-explanatory. Julio was amazing last year, but month by month OPS, this is where it gets kind of interesting. So March and April, he had a 544 OPS in 20 games. May, an 866 OPS in 28 games. June, a 903 OPS in 28 games. July, an 884 OPS in 19 games. August, a 701 OPS in 17 games. And then September and October, a 1200 OPS in 19 games. His worst month outside of his first month was a 701 OPS, which isn't good, but it's still above 700, which at least raises the floor, right? Every other month was above 860. His OPS for the year was 853. If you remove that first month, and he just plays like he did from the second month onwards, this dude is probably pushing close to a 900 OPS as a rookie, and he also had 25 doubles, 28 home runs, and 25 stolen bases. So 25, 25, 25 there. Just kind of a fun thing to look at. So he's got the power, he's got the speed, and it's not just over the fence or before the fence power. He's got both. Julio truly amazing last year, and so I'm curious, what are his prices going to be? Because if you go on Card Ladder and look at his ladder, they show all the cards on it that he has on that he has graphs of. There are 33 cards in the last year that are down in price, in the red, right? There are only 13 cards on Card Ladder that are in the green. So despite his amazing year, and despite everyone loving to talk about him and wanting Julio, tons of his cards are down, including this Refractor Auto PSA 10 that is down 15% in the last year. And the reason for that is obviously the card market was really hot going into last year and cooled off dramatically. But it's still crazy to me to see quite possibly the most popular player in the entire sport for a while and going into this year, and yet his cards are down largely across the board in the last year. So we'll see what he can do if he can bump those cards up, because if he doesn't have as good of a year as he did last year, I suspect those cards are going to be dropping down. All right, number 3 is Aaron Judge. So obviously, Aaron Judge, amazing year last year, 60 home runs. Well, here's this tweet from the Yankees Muse. Only 3 players have followed up a 60 home run season with a 50 home run season. And those are Babe Ruth, Mark McGwire, and Sammy Sosa, who did it twice. Now, obviously, there's not that many 60 home run seasons where you can have a huge sample size and only 3 guys did it, right? But it'll still be interesting to see if Aaron Judge can follow it up. And the reason I bring this up is because last year was a contract season for Aaron Judge. He had to play well to get a ton of money. Well, he signed his $360 million contract. He locked in his money. Now, is he going to perform well moving forward? Will he get a 50? I don't expect him to get a 60 home run season. Will he get a 50 home run season? Will he get a 45 home run season? Will all of a sudden some nagging injuries pop up? We don't know, but we do know that guys usually play well in their contract seasons, and sometimes paying them a contract after their contract season in which they did really well doesn't always work out very well. But last year he was amazing, and that propped up so much of his market. Even the most random autos you've never heard of had huge boosts last year, including this 2017 Topps Archives 1959 Bowman Series auto numbered to 99 PSA 10. This is a Pop 20 card, and last year it only sold 3 times, but it was $465 in May, and it went for $2,600 in October. That is a 459% increase in just 5 months, 6 months, or 5 months. And I don't know what it is today. It hasn't sold in a while. It would likely be significantly down from that $2,600 point. But it still is fun to look at what was going on while he was in the midst of his home run chase and how crazy people got to pay these types of prices for autos that should never have been that close to that high. And now if he doesn't if he doesn't follow up with another massive season, these prices are going to crater, I feel, but I could be wrong. But I do think that they are going to crater if he does not follow it up with at least a 50 home run season. Next up on the list, number 4 is Shohei Ohtani. And the reason I bring up Ohtani is because he's in the position that Aaron Judge was in last year, in which he's in a contract year. He's making $30 million this year, so he doesn't have to worry about money, but he is in a contract year, and he is about to, as long as he stays healthy, become the highest paid player in MLB history, and probably by a long shot. You can't tell me that a team like the Mariners or the Orioles or, a team like that that's been bad and can knock off two birds with one stone, getting a good top 15 pitcher and a top 15 hitter all in one package. Anybody would sign up to do that as long as they have the money, and there are a lot of teams that have been saving up money to be able to take a run at a Shohei Ohtani regardless of the price, and it is going to be drastic, that price, and it's deserved. In the last 2 seasons combined, Ohtani is top 25, or tied for 25th in position player Fangraphs wins above replacement at 8.9. For a pitcher, he is 10th with 8.6 Fangraphs wins above replacement. You combine those together, he is first in wins above replacement at 17.5, 0.6 wins above replacement better than Aaron Judge. That's how good of a player is. He is half a win better than a guy like Aaron Judge, who just put up one of the greatest seasons we've ever seen in our entire lives with the bat, especially in context of the rest of the league and how poor the rest of the league was doing, where guys with 760 OPSs were a 115 WRC plus. 760 OPS, 5 years ago might have gotten you a 102 WRC plus, and so on. So Judge was amazing, and yet Ohtani over the last 2 seasons has been half a win better than him, and like 4 wins better than the 3rd best player in baseball over that time span. So Ohtani going to get a massive contract as long as he stays healthy. I'm just curious, can he become even better this year? Because it's a contract year, will we see one of the greatest seasons of all time? I'm hoping so. And so he is number 4. And then number 5 for me is Corey Seager. So Corey Seager, was the former Dodgers shortstop, signed with the Rangers, massive deal, and then kind of put up a disappointing season. He had a 117 WRC plus, which is okay, not great. And that is 12 points lower than his career average of 129. A 129 WRC plus that was lowered by his 117 OPS or WRC plus last year. If he had had a higher WRC plus last year, that 129 career average would be even higher. So it's even a little bit more disappointing of a season that he had last year. Now, the reason I bring him up is because, according to this CBS article I read, he hit into 123 outs last year into the shift. He was shifted 92.8% of the time he came to the plate. He hit into 123 outs into that shift. That is by far the most. The next closest was Josh Naylor at 95, and then Rowdy Tellez at 86. And it goes down from there, and you can see the list. So if he's hitting into that many outs, and now the shift is gone, and he still put up a 117 WRC plus, what will he put up now that the shift is gone? I am very curious. I want to see, and so therefore he is my 5th player of the year. And we're looking at cards here. His 2016 Topps Chrome Rookie Refractor PSA 10, that is down 36% in the last year. If we can bump that up because of no shift and now back to quality production, seems like a win in my book. So Corey Seager is the 5th spot. All right, those are my top 5. If you've got guys that you're looking at for this season, drop them in the comments below. Let me know what you're thinking about this upcoming MLB season in the comments below. Would love to hear from you. And if you're a Brewers fan, drop a comment as well. Would love to hear from you as well, as I am a Brewers fan myself. So thank you everyone for watching today's Daily Slab. If you like this video, please click that like and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And I will talk to you all tomorrow for the next Daily Slab. See you, everyone.